Hey everyone, ready to dive into something we all think about, like all the time, our emotions. We're going deep with some excerpts from this book, all about mastering emotions, for a better life and all that.
What I like is it's not just think positive stuff, it gets into the why, the how can we feel the way we do, psychology, even brain science stuff.
Right, like first thing that jumped out at me,
Yeah.
our brains are still wired for survival mode, caveman times.
Yeah, negativity bias. Back then, being tuned into danger kept you alive, right?
Right.
But now, same wiring makes us blow things out of proportion. Like your boss's email sounds harsh, or not enough likes on that post. Boom, anxiety.
Our brain's freaking out over a text message. Wild. And speaking of hijacked brains, dopamine. We all like feeling good, but is it like fake happiness we're chasing?
Good point. This book argues that nowadays, it's dopamine on a timer,
Like how?
Think about it. Phone buzzes, you get a cookie, buy something online, instant dopamine hit. But it fades so fast.
So we're stuck chasing the next hit instead of actual lasting happy.
Exactly.
But if it's not just caveman brain and dopamine overload, then what's the other piece?
So the book talks about the ego, not like being cocky, but that inner voice, the one always comparing itself, wanting stuff to feel good.
So our ego is the one hooked on getting those likes, both online and off, always measuring up.
Totally. And the problem is real happiness. It's not from things or achievements or even other people, really. When we need that outside approval all the time, we always feel incomplete, like something's missing.
So then, how do we get off this crazy emotional hamster wheel? I bet you've got some thoughts.
Oh, there are definitely some answers, some good ones. It really starts with seeing things differently, like one big idea from the book. You are not your emotions.
Whoa! Okay, that makes you think, right? But what's that even mean? Like practically, if I'm not my emotions, what am I?
Right, so then the book, it uses this analogy, emotions are like the weather.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah,
So we don't stay stuck in a thunderstorm forever. Emotions are the same, they pass.
there you go. And think about it, it's not the actual feeling itself that makes us miserable, it's more we get caught up in the story about it. Why me? This will never end. But our minds are just trying to make sense of something temporary.
So instead of getting swept away by the hurricane of feelings, we got to learn to just observe them without judging, knowing they will pass.
Exactly, and the book even tells the story. Totally relatable. Same situation happens to this person, but 2 different days, totally different outcomes just because of how they were feeling. One day, they're optimistic about their business, full of ideas. Next day, feeling down, they doubt everything.
Wow. That's wild how our moods, colored glasses we're looking through, changes everything. Have you noticed that? How you being in a good mood or bad mood changes what you decide to do.
Oh, all the time. Remember when you're stressed, mad, exhausted? Did you ever make a choice you regretted later? Happens to all of us.
More times than I can count. But so what I hear you saying is we're not just helpless against our emotions. This book gives us tools, right? And this first one blew my mind. It's all about our bodies.
Sounds weird, right? But our physical state, it massively impacts our feelings. Ever heard of power posing?
Yeah, but does that really work?
Get this, the book talks about this research, right? Just holding your body in a confident way, even for a minute or two. It changes your hormones, more testosterone, which is linked to confidence, less cortisol, the stress one.
So if I'm about to do a big presentation, I should strike a Wonder Woman pose and it'll help?
Might as well try it. It's not about faking how you feel, but giving your body language a boost so it helps your emotions along, And it's not just posture, exercise, sleep, even how you breathe. It all matters more than we think.
Makes sense. Sleep deprived. I get upset over anything.
Yeah.
But what about, that monkey mind feeling? Racing thoughts, can't shut it off.
Oh, you're not alone. This book recommends meditation, visualization, calming the storm inside.
Meditation, I hear good things. But just sitting still that long. Daunting. Any other ways to get that calmness?
Oh, absolutely. There's this whole thing about language, how the words we say actually impact how we feel,
Wait, really? So instead of I'll try to do that, I should be saying I will do that.
There you go. It's about noticing those little self-doubt phrases we all use and swapping them out for power words. Small change, big difference.
Okay, I'm into it. So power posing, meditation, good self-talk, all good tools. But what about when it's really tough stuff? Grief, heartbreak, even just plain old disappointment.
Right, so that's where the book talks about letting go. And it's not about pretending you don't feel those things or pushing them down. It's more like acknowledging them, letting yourself feel them fully, but then consciously choosing to release them.
So, like, you acknowledge the storm, but you don't let it drown you.
Perfect way to put it. And there's this 3-step process in the book. Observe, label, choose. First, you just notice the emotion, no judgment. Then you name it. This is sadness, this is anger, whatever it is. Then you choose to let it go.
Sounds easy when you say it like that.
Yeah.
But when the emotions are super intense, how do you actually make that choice to let go?
That's where reframing comes in, right? It's about challenging those thoughts, the ones that keep us stuck. The book says, ask yourself, is this really true? Is it helping me to think this way?
So we're rewriting the story our inner critic is telling us. I like it. Taking back control.
Yes. Becoming aware of those automatic negative thoughts and then consciously replacing them. It takes time, but you can actually rewire your brain to react differently.
That is so cool. So it's not just positive thinking then. It's like actively creating a more positive reality with our thoughts.
You got it. It's being proactive about how you feel. And, I appreciate that these excerpts, they don't sugarcoat it. They admit, even with the best tools, sometimes life's going to throw those tough emotions at you.
Life happens. But the point is, we're not victims. We can learn to handle it, even the hard parts, with more awareness, more resilience.
100%. And I think that's the big takeaway from all this. Mastering our emotions, it's not a finish line you cross, it's a journey. It's about learning and growing and always figuring out how we relate to our own inner world.
Not about feeling blissful all the time then. More like getting the skills to handle whatever comes up, ride the waves a little smoother.
Exactly. Even those so-called negative emotions, they can teach us stuff, lead us to more self-understanding, growth.
It's funny, even just talking about this stuff, I'm feeling more hopeful. I've got actual techniques now, not just vague ideas.
Me too. And I hope our listeners are feeling that way too. If you remember one thing from all this, understanding your emotions, that's powerful. Even little changes in how aware you are, how you react, it can make a huge difference to your whole life.
So true. Next time you feel that wave of emotion hitting, remember, you are not your emotions. You're the one in charge. And with the right tools, a little practice, you can weather any storm.
Love it. And on that note, something to think about from the book. What's one small step you can take today to start mastering your emotions? Try a power pose, maybe? Write down 3 things you're grateful for. Whatever it is, take that step, see where it leads.
Such a good challenge. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everyone. We'll be back soon with more fascinating ideas and practical tips. See you then.